So good morning everyone. So today class we discuss about swimmer's test. So what about swimmer's test? So last class we discuss about speed control of induction motor. So today class we discuss about swimmer's test. So swimmer's test can be conducted for constant flux motors. Constant flux motors, that is for compound motors as well as shunt motor. Compound motor as well as shunt motor. So I am giving inputs. This is armature. This is the line current. This is the shunt field current. This is the shunt field resistance. This one is armature resistance. This is the shunt motor. What I am saying is a shunt motor. So I am testing the shunt motor by using the Swimmer's test. The purpose of this test to predetermine the efficiency. Predetermine the efficiency. Predetermine the efficiency. In this method, we cannot use the mechanical loading of the equipment. Mechanical loading of the equipment. Mechanical loading of equipment. That means it will be connected for no load. It will be connected for no load. Without load, we can determine the efficiency of both motor as well as generator. So without any load, we can determine the efficiency of both generator as well as motor. Generator as well as motor. That means if you have without any loading, that means the motor has per motor is a mechanical load is the output. I am not putting any load. For generator, electrical is the output. I am not putting any load. So without loading, we can determine. That's why we can call it's a predetermined test. It is a predetermined test. Or otherwise, this is indirect method. This one is indirect method. Without loading, we can determine the efficiency at a half load, at full load, at any load. At any load. So half load, full load, at any load, we can determine the efficiency of the motor. Efficiency of the motor. So this is the purpose of the Swimmer's test. Next, how we can determine the efficiency of the motor? So we can simply say that one. So I am connecting one field rheostat. So how to determine? That means this one is motor. So I am connecting one field rheostat along with one ammeter to the shunt field. So same like that, connecting another ammeter. These are the brushes. And also connect one voltmeter. This is a motor. That's why we can say we give DC supply. DC supply. This is positive, negative. This is what line current measure. This is line current measure. After that one, this is armature current. So this one is what? Field current. This one is field current. So this one is RSH. So while taking the machine, shunt machine, I am connecting one field rheostat and 2 ammeters along with 1 voltmeter. The ammeter measures the current, the voltmeter measures the voltage. So here I am adjusting the field rheostat. So apply the voltage. This is applied to the motor. The motor will be run by adjusting the field rheostat and adjusting the field rheostat. While adjusting the field rheostat from minimum to somewhat, the resistance is varied, the speed of the motor is affected, the motor can get into rated speed. Adjust the motor to which one? Adjust the motor to rated speed. Adjust the motor with rated speed. The rated speed can be obtained by adjusting the field rheostat. So after that one, we can take the readings of IL. After that, ISH, ISH and terminal voltage. This one is terminal voltage. These 3 readings can be obtained. These 3 readings can be obtained by measuring the meter. That one is, so these 3 meters can be obtained. So from this test, these 3 meters can be obtained. What is that one? Input equal to what? Output plus losses. Output plus losses. Input equal to output plus losses. So here, what is this one? Without any loading. Without any loading. The output is 0. The output is 0. That's why input equal to what? Losses. Input equal to losses. What losses in the machine? That equal to W constant. W constant plus shunt field losses ISH into RSH, or otherwise ISH into terminal voltage plus armature copper losses IS square RA. So input equal to is a constant losses. That is constant losses is what? Iron and friction losses. So these are field loss, copper loss due to shunt field. So IS square RA is copper loss due to armature. So okay, and drop the diagram. And drop the diagram. So what I can get? Input equal to what? So terminal voltage into line current. Terminal voltage into line current. That is equal to the constant losses plus VT ISH plus IA square RA. IA square RA. So from the diagram, what? The line current equal to IA plus ISH. IA plus ISH. So from that IA equal to what? So IL minus ISH. IL minus ISH. So from that I can get, so W constant. W constant. That is equal to VT IL minus VT ISH minus IA square RA from this one. This one. So common the terminals VT. VT into IL minus ISH. IL minus ISH minus IA square RA. IL minus ISH is equal to what? IL. IL minus equal to the VT IA minus IA square RA. So from that we can get what? W constant. W constant. So finally we can get what? From Sigma's test, W constant losses. So W constant losses. After this, after getting the W constant, we can get we can calculate the efficiency of the motor as well as generator. Efficiency of the motor as well as generator. Efficiency of the motor as well as generator. So I am taking generator. What is the efficiency? Efficiency equal to what? So output by input. Here one more important thing is the line current IL equal to, for example, 20 I am taking. Line current equal to 20 I am taking. So at half load, they ask determine the efficiency at half load, means at half load IL equal to what? 20 by 2. So at quarter load, that means at 1/4 load, IL equal to 1/4 into 20. At 3/4 load, IL equal to what? 3/4 into 20. For example, I am taking 20. So in case of the loads, at half load means half into IL. At quarter load means 1/4 into IL. At 3/4 load is IL equal to 3/4 into IL. So this is about at any loads we can determine. For efficiency equal to what? Output by input. For generator, output equal to what? Electrical energy. So VL IL. Input is mechanical energy. That mechanical energy we cannot express it into electrical. That's why we can also say that one. So output plus losses. So what's that one? VT IT divided by output is what? VT IT plus losses is what? Losses they occur. The losses from determined constant losses plus field copper losses, ISH square RSH plus armature copper losses. What they given that IL we can calculate. So IA square RA. So this is the way for determining the generator efficiency. So next, motor efficiency. This is also common. So in case they ask determine the efficiency at half load, means half into that current. Determine the efficiency at 3/4 means 3/4 into that current. Here I am taking the example of 20. You can take it. So next, for motor also efficiency equal to what? Output by input. For motor, output is what? Mechanical energy. That mechanical energy we cannot express it. That's why we can turning into input. So that's why output can be expressed as input minus losses divided by input. Input minus losses divided by input. So input is what? VT into IL minus losses from Schuman's test. Constant losses is getting plus ISH square RSH is the shunt field copper loss plus armature copper loss, IA square RA divided by VT IL. This is the motor efficiency. This one is motor efficiency. So like that you can calculate the generator efficiency, motor efficiency. So next, advantages. What I am saying, advantages. So the advantage of this test is two machines can be tested at the same time. So motor generator test can be at a time. You can be tested with less input. So without any loading, the efficiency can be determined. Without any loading, the efficiency can be determined at any load. That means without any mechanical loading, we can determine at any load. That's why it is called as a predetermined. Disadvantage is, here we can say that one, the constant losses is constant, but due to armature reaction, the shunt field losses is changes. That is not considering this one. So this is about inverse test. The last topic in our unit is application of motors. Application of motors. The last topic in second unit. Tomorrow we can introduce to the third unit. So last topic in our unit is application of DC motors. Application of DC motors. So DC motors can be mainly classified into what? DC series motor, DC shunt motor, DC compound motor. DC compound motor. So as compared to other motors, the shunt series motor has high starting torque. High starting torque. Wherever the application point of view we have required high starting torque, we can use DC motor. For example, cranes. Cranes required at the initial stage they have high starting torque. So that's why we can use series motor. Cranes, hoist, trains. Next, wherever you want high starting torque. Wherever you want high starting torque. For example, I am saying these three. So we have lot of there. We have lot of applications, whatever it may be. For example, lifts, hoist, elevators, cranes, so etc. Wherever you want high starting torque operated with DC supply, we can go for DC series motor. For shunt motor, almost all constant speed. For centrifugal pumps, what we required? Constant speed. So that's why centrifugal pumps. Next, machine tools, lathe machine, etc. So for this type of applications, whatever you have operated constant speed with DC supply, we can choose DC shunt motor. So compound motor is used for intermittent loads. For examples, elevators, shearing machine, next printing, punching machines, like that. So it is a moderate torque as compared to series motor. So whatever that intermediate loads like elevators, shearing machines, punching machines, like that we can use these are applications of DC motors. So up to now we have finished our second unit. So thank you for watching. I provide all links regarding this second unit too in our group. If in case any doubts regarding this one, some problematics is pending, after opening the college we can discuss about some problems. So okay, thank you for watching.